I'm talking about energy. I know I got lots of it. And I got lots of power. That power is not gifted to ordinary folk. A lot of people would not even dare try to buy it because they wouldn't afford it. And I have a spiritual eye and a vision to see from far. I'll get rid of you so much.
Greetings, everyone. This is the Q's podcast. I'm back again with Max Natlasakapapo. I'm your host, Usposeti Kamlambisi Ugabu Uciosho Titibu Nozingo Mfumlambo Mngosini Msuthu Umjobi ozala mamtlochana intombi yasemathenjini ojalo pressure makatha likhuni ewe kaloku ndingumXhosa ewe kaloku ndiyaziqhenya ngobuXhosa kwami ewe kaloku ndingaqhufuzanga amaqanda uqala ubuqonda uba ndingumXhosa kaloku. You know, let's open this conversation ngequote kaMarcus Garvey. He once said, "A people who don't know their past or origin are like a tree without roots."
Without roots, indeed.
One intelligent guy once said that highest form of education is self-knowledge. Tata, welcome back. Bengicela uba uzichaze ngalandlela yakho ndiyaziyo.
Uyazi kutata. Ukuvela uyathetha uyazixhensa and the way ungumXhosa ngakhona. Nami awendavuya kuba umpedi. Kodwa mnandi umpedi. Abantu abaninzi abayazi bantu umpedi.
Hayibo.
Ndimndebele. Ndebele ovela apha eLimpopo. Ndimndebele wasemkopane, ndimndebele wasemletlane. Ke gona ke thoma ke theta ke re khobokana mathoko hlele kwesreto samokopane wa tlhogo chama tebele. Ke nna makopane wa mokopane wa tlhogo chama tebele. Ke nna mpromise wa ga mokopane. Ke nna senatla sa ga bomadime tša senatla se. Ke le no. Le ge le no sekgomo le aish le fetše. Ke reila ga mokopane ke reila ke re tabe. Ke tša nonyane ga e tabe tša mo le gore. Ke tšhaba baditi. Ke tšhaba bona matebela a gešo. Ke tšhaba lona mapedi a re thopileo. Ke tšhaba bona ma South Africa. Ke tšhaba yona Mzansi. Ke tšhaba yona industry ya ka. Ke bolela ka entertainment industry. Gobane ke buile. I am back and I'm bad.
Sure. Back like you never left.
Can I tell you, it's so beautiful, it's so exciting. And I cannot wait. Bampudisha kwake uyilengo wana bari skaba bocha quite yet because we are going to make a huge noise about it next month in May. Ooh. So let them watch the space and they must guess where I have come back.
Sure.
Two.
Something good is
Some
cooking.
things are almost obvious, and they just, if I say I've come back to somewhere where it's supposed to be obvious, I could be back, Kokai,
Rebo.
Come on now.
Rebo.
I could be back, Kokai. Well, some of the shows that I could be back to are no longer.
Like
so I can't be back to Isiba, can I?
Like Egoli.
I can't be back to Rhythm City, can I?
Like Egoli.
But I want to challenge somebody right away. Once you are blind,
yeah.
Kagiso, Mukhali.
Yeah.
You are busy cooking Kokota number 2. And dining, Mamelodi. Come on now. I'm ready. I am ready, willing, and able. I want to play one big role there.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Kokota number 2. Kokota.
The iconic legend from Mamelodi. I'm very proud of you, my brother. Like, I think there are questions from the viewers. So the first one is, Marothi, how did you meet Marothi? How did you guys meet? Like, please tell us. Yeah.
They ask us that question. They ask you, they ask me.
Yeah. Please take us through that.
I think when they saw me on your podcast the first time.
Yeah.
Before you then also arranged to bring me here.
Yeah.
Which they will later understand what this is.
Yeah.
But I'm sure they could just see the surroundings and remember something about the tea, something about the tree, something about the podcast. But that is still coming. Let me tell your viewers and my many viewers, many followers. Or guys, this man right here, I remember really accolading him when we were back here. Somebody like, Remy,
Yeah.
Remy,
Queen Remy.
Queen Remy, and then then there were questions out. Now, how do you come across, and how do you guys cross? How do your paths cross? Because when we actually pick up, we see that it's much deeper than just social. Yes, indeed, it is much deeper than social. It is very spiritual. It is very cultural.
Yeah.
It is very personal. Because ever since we have met, we've been through so much in such short space of time. Yeah. So we met in Mamelodi, because we're all from Mamelodi. Well, we all come from somewhere. Because in a move, I don't know if because of Mamelodi. Ufele Eastern Cape, like that. We got on Hamilton somewhere. I'm not from Mamelodi. But I was born in Mamelodi, not Mamelodians. I was serious because we're born and bred in Mamelodi. So then we cross paths in Mamelodi. One way or the other, we bump into each other. See what I'm doing there? One way or the other, we bump into each other. We find ourselves at a mall.
Yeah.
Or Den Lane. And
Chicken
there I'm
licking.
doing my little bit of chicken licking.
Yeah, it's a favorite.
Chewing, low and away, but hey, man, by the way, I'm doing this podcast and everything. I'd love to have you there, man. And it sounds like some kind of like a simple invitation of some sort, because really, it wasn't like, so there you are throwing me with a very light proposal.
Let's do the show.
So we met, guys. Go chicken licking. Yeah, go Den Lane in Mamelodi West. And I'm from D5. And you based go E5.
Yeah, E5.
We are both in Mamelodi West. But we are not reduced to that. We have since taken it to other levels. We are now partners in social, if you like, socio-economic, political, as well as cultural, as well as cultural / spiritual circles. And not only are we there, we are now forming a partnership of some serious nature, and that you are now my soon-to-be official social media partner.
So that you can come to the cues.
The partnership out of which we are set out to form a podcast. Funny that we should be saying that here at a podcast studio, in this podcast studios, very powerful podcast studios called Scent Studios.
Very beautiful. Like, look at the ambience.
Yeah, this is called Scent Studios. And,
very beautiful.
And we were talking to the producers, one of whom is actually quite keen to hear what we have to say. Yeah. Because we would like to do a partnership, like a kind of a duo, co-hosting of a thing. Yeah. And we are not going to say like who and who. No, ours is going to be different. It's a cutting edge. Very spiritual. It's going to be deeply spiritual, deeply cultural, deeply social, political. So we're talking about environmental issues as well as current issues. But we are big on environment because we are very concerned about our environment. Our environment is continually being polluted and contaminated spiritually, and if you think about it, let's just say geographically. We don't want to get into the issues and the whole concept of global warming and that. The topic of which will be discussed in the next executive meeting.
Yeah, man, it was our journey comes far, man. I think, and I got you at the time whereby you're very depressed, stressed, but
well, not quite at the time. I'd come out of that. I was in transition.
Yes,
I was in transition, but I did slightly kind of touch on that.
So
I don't want to give them
dwell on it,
like a wrong end of the stick, because it wasn't at that time. You didn't meet me when I was really in bad shape, because I was. If you met me then, I wouldn't have said yes to your podcast invitation.
He had recovered
No,
at
no,
the
no.
time.
I was beautifully in transition. I was doing things already. Lots of things.
That's true, my brother. So yeah, I'm very happy for you to accepting this invitation, and it's an honor and a privilege to be with an icon, somebody whom I've watched on TV, doing wonders, performing.
But let's jump into it.
Yeah,
Because you and I were talking as we were coming here
yeah,
to say, how can we tease them from where we left them off the last time?
yeah.
Obviously, it wasn't you and I, but I did mention you in that last podcast
With Queen Remy.
with
Yeah,
Queen Rami.
yeah,
And it was interesting because, of course, they knew there was somebody because I mentioned you by name.
yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, his name is QEWS. Kisipo Waga Mlambisa.
Yeah.
When you call him Mlambisa, he should know better. But now, the accent, I'm trying to say, let me try and better my accent there and go for the authenticity of it and
That's
say Mlambisa. Because it sounds more closer than anything else.
With that.
So utata lo ixhego le eliphambi kwam elithetha nam intangamentsha partner in crime, spiritual, artistic as well. Crime. That we've been doing some amazing things. Hopefully we'll be shooting and broadcasting in the nearest future from this very
Beautiful.
we are outing it out there into the universe. It's out that you can conceive, you can achieve.
Sure.
You and I spoke
Yeah.
about what we could tease the viewers with in terms
yeah.
of topic.
Yeah.
And we were very passionate about the fact that today we are finding a lot of our industry people, our colleagues in my entertainment industry,
Yeah.
in the acting fraternity,
Yeah.
in the musical fraternity. Hell, we're finding them even in dancing fraternity,
That's true.
which if you were to compare with music and acting, it's a little bit smaller. Nonetheless, they are our fellow artists. We are saying there's this mushrooming almost of inyanga, and not inyanga, but amatwasana.
Yeah.
Because obviously they're not inyanga yet. Amatwasana all over the country. Bayatwasa tata. And then you asked me a question, and I like to explore that. Why is it that it is that and that much? And I said it is because very talented, hugely talented.
Yeah.
I describe them as hugely talented, gifted people in the industry, in the entertainment industry, are very spiritual. By nature, by design, not by definition. By design, they are deeply spiritual. And they have to somehow naturally find an outlet to let go of this deep fire and electricity, spiritual electricity inside them. How do you get rid of electricity if you don't have outlets? So, if you don't have spiritual guidance and leadership, what do you then do? You just pick it up from the streets and the bad companies you find yourself in. People are drinking, over drinking, abusing alcohol, drugs, drug abuse. Once you get to the level of abuse, and then it leads you to a level of addiction. From addiction, it's disaster. And it's all in yearning for an outlet of this that I call spiritual electricity. Because we are full of it. Abantu aba talented tata, they're almost misunderstood because they are too much. Why are they too much? They've got too much to offer. They've got too much energy. They've got too much vibration inside them. Their makeup, their body makeup, their whole physiology, their whole anatomy makeup is such that it's full of electricity. It's almost like when they touch you like that, Joe, you feel the earth.
Mhlaba.
Now, when you are dealing with such hugely talented folk, and you are a producer in my industry, you are a director who doesn't have as much, you don't know what to do with them. The easiest natural thing, which is an easy way out, I find, is to dub them problematic,
Rebellious,
rebellious, rebellions.
notorious,
These problematic folk, destructive and all that, because you can't define them.
controversial.
You call them all kinds of things. Isn't it that also human nature is that beats you is not on your same level, is up above you. You try and put it down, literally. Therefore, how best can you put it down? You describe it as ill and negative. You're never going to describe it as positive and as pro. What do I mean by that? You're never going to say, hey, this guy is amazing. He's got so much energy. He's got so much more energy than me. You're not going to say that. Jesus. I recently experienced that at some soapy I won't mention. I joined that soapy. And there I was. Max Papa, as you know him, full of energy and chutzpah.
Very talented.
No, I don't want to talk about talented and all that. Those people, those things I leave to people to define and describe. I'm talking about energy. I know I got lots of it. And I got lots of power. That power is not gifted to ordinary folk. We're not ordinary. We're extraordinary. So if you're having problems because you're not extraordinary, you're going to define me as Lotatu ya papa. Une energy epaya. People were threatened by my energy. I had not even begun to act. My energy was something else.
Your aura.
It comes with the aura.
Grace, yeah.
It comes with the aura. And the combination of aura and high energy is very lethal. It can be destructive if it doesn't have an outlet. What do? I use humor. I use a sense of humor. I've got plenty of sense of humor. I'm very funny, but I'm not a comedian.
But I think you could do also stand-up. Have you
I
thought
won't
about
do that. No. I leave that to the experts. I leave that to the David Cows of this world.
But
The Kagiso, the Digas of this world.
Trevor Noah.
The Trevor Noahs of this world. We can't all go everywhere. I'm a very good actor. And I'm not doubtful about that because I'm a highly trained actor. I come from far. Next year, I'll be doing my 40th year in the industry, in the acting industry. Not just overall industry. Acting fraternity, acting industry. If I haven't learned a thing from those 40 years, then I'm a bum. Or I'm thick and slow. Or I'm untalented. To start considering changing careers.
That's true.
I was telling my friend, he's here today.
Yeah.
We're going to talk to him. The legendary icon from Chiefs, Kaiser Chiefs, the old 1976 Kaiser Chiefs, upwards into the late 70s and early 80s. The iconic Jan Manombo Lishaba. I was telling him I used to play soccer. I still have skills. But it wasn't for me to play soccer, to act, to try and sing, and be a poet, and then be a healer, and be a preacher. Can I tell people that I also preach in church?
I think with that one,
I preached on Thursday. On last Friday, I preached at a church called St. Paul, Body of Christ, Body TT Soshanguve. Preached with much aplomb. I preached again by invitation. I was asked when those people saw me at TT, they had visited a Body of Christ, St. Paul, and now they are Pentecostal, Bethel Pentecostal Church of God of Christ. What happened? I was there. I was given a chance to preach, and I preached it to the next level because I knew that these people had seen me. And I wasn't doing it because I'm cleverly gifted or wonderfully favored, highly favored and wonderfully blessed and gifted. No, because it's part of an anointance, I suppose. I'm beginning to see. Because it is anointance. This whole thing is anointance. There's absolutely nothing that I touch and I don't become good at. I'm at that level after 40 years in the industry.
Wow. That's why.
After 40 years in the industry, Bavo, I am an artist. And I am not a performer anymore. I'm no longer an performing actor or a performance or a performing artist. I'm a scientist of performance. I'm an artist. I make art. I tell stories at a heightened level. That's why I'm also a speaker. We're talking about our outlet. I should say our because I'm part of that. I'm part of the industry that is highly spiritual. Myself included.
That's true.
So when I needed outlets like other people, I didn't immediately go and go Twasa. I went into yoga, mostly Tai Chi, martial arts, and your meditational techniques. I do what is called transcendental meditation.
I think you're reminding me of a book by Robin Sharma. How, what's the title? A monk who sold
Oh, was it the monk who sold all his everything?
Ferrari.
Yeah.
Yeah, a monk who sold
And
his
sold
Ferrari.
it all.
Yeah,
And then started a new life.
Because if I can draw a parallel on that book, it's like you selling the things that you don't need so that
Anymore. So that you are left with self.
Yeah, you transcend
to another level.
It speaks about the state of Nirvana, whereby you've transcended almost everything, and then
to another level.
You are at the calm state.
Absolutely.
And then
at your most calmest
highest, yeah.
and at your highest silent, peaceful self.
When we are filled, then you become fulfilled.
Here's the thing.
When you are fulfilled,
yeah,
you vibrate at the higher frequency.
Absolutely.
At a higher frequency, that's where protection comes. That's where peace comes. That's where love comes.
Absolutely. You attract
Where cares.
You attract those forces.
Comes, yeah.
And those are all positive forces.
Yeah.
Forces. In order for you to put yourself in that state, that first state, where that whole process of final transcendence happens to the last point of peace and calm and perfect silence and all of that, you need to actually almost shed a whole lot of material self. Yeah. You need to shed yourself off that, and strip yourself. Basically, it's almost like load shedding of all that stuff that's secondary, that is materialistic. That is why that guy would have gone the route that he went and sold the Ferraris of this world, all his riches and his wealth. Perhaps donated a whole lot of it because it was too much for him to sell. A lot of people would not even dare try to buy it because they wouldn't afford it.
That's true.
So he probably donated a whole lot of it, got rid of it, and started afresh. He shed himself. You see that process where it comes in. You shed yourself of all your material self. Every little iota and every little piece and particle of materialism within yourself. And you are left with absolutely nothing but self. You are reaching the authentic, original self state. And where self-knowledge it begins to kick in, is a very important process of self-discovery.
Hence, I spoke about self-knowledge as highest form of education.
Absolutely.
Because we are constantly being indoctrinated to know a lot of things about a lot of people, but not look within.
Within self.
Because even the Bible says, greater is he who's within, than the one who's. Yeah. What goes is it for you to gain the whole world, yet for it your own?
You are hastily and vividly reminding me of the book, Anthony Robbins. Anthony, not Robbins, but Anthony. Yes, Anthony Robbins. And he writes the book called The Giant Within. He speaks about how you haven't even begun to scratch the surface of self. The gifts within yourself that are latent and tapped and are bubbling underneath you, some of which you were actually born with. you have not even scratched the surface, begun to
Surface,
scratch the
yeah.
surface to find and discover them. How many of us can actually confidently say that we know all of our gifts and we've actually gone on to try and fulfill them, or not fulfill them, explore them?
That's true.
Not many.
Since we have 6 minutes left, I just want to pose this one.
And we
There's-
need to finish that thing, this outletting.
I think we'll do it on
Yes,
the another podcast.
yes.
You know, me and you can speak the
Yes,
whole day.
you're so right.
There's this concept of in Japan called ikigai.
Ikigai.
Some call it purpose.
All right.
So I want to pose this question.
Yeah.
Do you believe you've found your purpose? And then if yes, then what is your purpose?
I have found it a while ago. But a purpose, in order for you to actually follow to the fullest, sometimes you need not only opportunities, you need luck, you need space and time. I'm going to tell you about the concept of space. Once you find space that's right, you dynamize that space. And when you're gifted time, you specialize that time.
Can you please repeat that?
You specialize with that time, if not specialize the time itself, and dynamize the space that you're gifted. The combination of which can therefore then give you a sense of what you are doing with your life, and purpose kicks in. I have found that 2003, I knew I never believed anymore in the concept of membership, but ownership.
Sure.
That's when my purpose set in to say, I want to own things. I want to start owning things, and I want to start owning my spaces and my time. That is my purpose. What am I doing with my time and my space now? I'm busy specializing with my time. I'm busy dynamizing my spaces. My spaces are dynamic. When you enter my space, you better come with something to offer it. Otherwise, you reduce yourself to a leech, if not an opportunist. And I have a spiritual eye and a vision to see from far. I'll get
discern.
rid of you so much, to decipher you. But you are not of my ilk. It might sound, however snobbish as it might sound, but when you have a sense of purpose, you reach that level of snobbishness. You have no time for riffraff. You have no time, no tolerance for mediocrity. What is my purpose? Is to achieve amazing things, amazing and meaningful contributions to society, to humankind. I'm at a level of aesthetics. My needs are aesthetic. My purpose right now is to make a difference in other people's lives. That is why I have right now, and I'm about to launch it in June the 16th, a mentor and leadership program. It is a legacy program. My children will continue it many years after I will have passed on to the next life. That is my purpose. I'm not about achieving the Ferraris of this world. I'm way beyond that. If I didn't buy a Ferrari when I could buy it, then I never ever will, because it's never of any importance to my life anymore. But can I tell you my dream car?
And then like that. Yeah.
Ndisafuna ukuyayibetha la 4-pipe ye-G wagon ye-G63. Sazoyibetha. And that will just be a toy of fulfillment and self-satisfaction and satisfaction of my hard work. It wouldn't be because it's a dream car. I am calling it a dream car because convention and society calls it that. They'll call it, what is your dream car? No, it's not my dream car. It's a car I just want to drive next.
My brother, I believe you deserve it all. There's a song by Kendrick Lamar. It's called Men at the Garden.
Yes.
There's a bar there. He says, twice emotional ability,
Yes.
sound body, and tranquility.
Love that.
You deserve it all. All the accolades, all the flowers,
There's a
all
brother.
the love.
Thank you so much.
You deserve it all.
There's a brother by the name. You reminded me because you now putting me into books.
Yeah.
You are reminding me of a filmmaker. And I'm not going to quote one from overseas. I'm going to quote one from here.
Yeah.
His name is Pule Mutlong. Matter of fact, I'm going to his spinning farm on the 3rd. I'm going with my friend on the 3rd. And I am their VIP guest there. As Max, the celebrity. But he speaks of me as his... it's almost like him and I are your Steven Spielberg
Yeah.
and Tom Hanks
Oh, yeah.
partnership. I'm at levels like those where I want to work with producers and directors of note, of fantastic and epic proportions where talent is concerned. And then we co-produce amazing pictures. And by that I mean films. My work is to make pictures.
Wow.
And pictures contain stories. For I am a storyteller of note.
Power. Thanks, my brother. Our time is up. Let's leave. Honestly, normally when we close off the show, I like to recommend a book. So, for the theme of this conversation, I recommend the book called The Ultimate Gift by Jim Stovall.
I'm going to read that.
Ultimate Gift by Jim Stovall. Guys, go check that book out. It's a book whereby a young boy was denied inheritance because of he was spoiled by his grandfather. Then he was given 12 tasks to go and perform. Then after performing those 12 tasks, he realized that material things, they are not of value, but what is of value is the gift of life. Because
Absolutely.
you cannot purchase your life. You cannot live twice. You only live once. You have to make it better and more.
You have to live it
impactful.
to the fullest.
Yeah, to the
You
full.
gotta live it to the full. You gotta
And
live.
enjoy it.
You gotta live like there's no tomorrow. Somebody said, work hard today, and live like a king tomorrow.
Enkosi tata. Peace. Salute.
Siyabulele.